Hi everyone, this is Untouched ASMR. Yes, I am aware that my hair is crazy. Today, before we get into the video, I would like to mention my Patreon channel for those of you who are interested. I do have exclusive perks, a private community chat on there, exclusive videos, early access, and a few other things. It's a really great place if you're interested. There's a link in the description box down below, as well as throughout the video up top at the top of the video here, okay? So today I just wanted to do a simple rambling video because I have a few things I want to talk to you about. One is Spotify Wrapped for this year. Two is I forget, I'm blanking. Oh, my business venture. And three is my idea for the channel. So let's get into Spotify Wrapped. So for those of you who do not know what Spotify Wrapped is, it is kind of the app Spotify that you listen music on. It is a culmination of all the statistics and your listenings for the year of 2024, or every year. It comes out usually in December. And it gives you all your statistics based on your listening, which is really cool and interesting to look at. So I wanted to share mine. As you could guess, some of you who have been here for a while can probably guess what's going to show up on here. So let me pull it all up. It is on my phone, so I took pictures with my iPad just so I can show you guys here. So okay, so it goes through and does different statistics, and one of them is how many minutes that you've listened this year. So for me, in 2024, obviously that discounts the month of December, but you listened for 12,474 minutes this year, which is a good amount, I would say, but like Harry, my boyfriend, his is like 44,000. Because he listens to music when he goes to the gym and, you know, basically at all times. And I want to listen to more music because I love music. So moving on, that puts me in the top 28% of listeners worldwide. Now his statistic was like 6%. So my biggest listening day was June 5th with 325 minutes, which is, oh wow. Oh my god. So if you think 120 minutes is 2 hours, so twice that is 240, plus another 60, so that's 5.5 hours. I listened. That's insane. I want to know what I did on June 5th, that I was able to listen to music for 5.5 hours. That's crazy. I played 1,287 songs this year. And this is no surprise, my top song was Chihiro by Billie Eilish. Now this statistic under here, I was like, oh my gosh. I am in the top 0.05% of listeners globally. So in the entire world, I am in the top 0.05% of Chihiro listeners. Like, I think that's insane because she has over 100 million monthly listeners globally. That's insane. Like that's insane. Anywho, so I feel like this is so low, this number. I streamed it 92 times, which I don't feel like is that much, starting on June 3rd. So June 5th, I probably listened to the Billie Eilish album on repeat probably 5 or 6 times, I guess. My top songs, as you can see, no surprise here, all from Billie Eilish. Well, number 1 is Chihiro. Number 2 is Wildflower. Number 3 is Lunch. Number 4 is Birds of a Feather. And 5 is Blue. And there's no surprise there either. May was my sigil core. I'm not really sure what that is. Hollywood melodic rap phase. It was my birthday and I was traveling, so I was probably like really excited and hype, whatever. I was into artists such as A Boogie with a Hoodie, Trippie Redd, and Juice WRLD. Sorry, I paused because the way I said that name, the first name I said, it made me cringe really hard, and I was just trying to cope with that. So June was my bougie football rap season. I was all about artists like Drake, Big X The Plug, and J. Cole. That's my typical like rap rotation. And August, this is when, so I listened to Billie Eilish first in June because her album had just come out in May, and then I wasn't into it at first, so maybe I didn't listen to her on June 5th, but I remember a few months later, which makes sense because this is the time, I was like, wow, it actually is really good. So August was my rainy day roller skating pop moment, and my artists of that month were Billie Eilish, Chappell Rowan, and Charli XCX. I listened to 627 artists. And Billie Eilish was my top artist. And my longest listening streak was 27 days. And I could probably pinpoint when that was too. It was probably before the concert, because I listened to her every single day. And yeah, I'm a top 0.5% fan of Billie Eilish, and out of all the listening minutes that I spent, why do I say it like that? Out of all the minutes that I spent listening, I spent 4,942 minutes listening to her. And so if you think about how I only have 12,400 something minutes and 5,000 of those are Billie Eilish, it's almost half of the music I listen to, which is crazy. It's also crazy being a 0.5% fan for a person that has, like I said, over 100 million Spotify listeners a month, which is insane. So I would love to do the math on that and see, what 0.5% actually means. The reason that I haven't been listening to her as much recently is because I don't know if I told this to you guys, maybe I did, that I am manifesting so hard that I am going to be friends with her. And I know that I am going to be friends with her. And I think that, the obsessive nature is kind of puts you in a scarcity mindset, like the obsession, like because you don't have said thing causes you to be in that scarcity mindset. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but I feel like if I'm like completely obsessive and just thinking about that I'm not friends with her and like putting her on this pedestal, that won't happen, because I just want to be friends with her because she is a really, really cool person. I like everything that she stands for. I just love what I've seen of her personality and like who she is, and we're the same age, and I just feel, I don't know, I really do feel like if I'm trying to think of my words here. I just think that her personality and my personality would be very harmonic with each other, and that they would work really well together. And I see a lot of things in her that I look for in a friend. And yeah, so I am just manifesting that because she's just a really, really, really cool person, and I would love to be her friend. And yeah, I just think that being obsessive, like I still listen to her, of course, but I just, I try to think of it in a different mindset and not think of just like everything all about her, because I think that goes against the manifesting that I'm trying to do, if that makes any sense. So my top artists were Billie Eilish, 1, Morgan Wallen was 2nd, which surprises me because in the previous years, Morgan Wallen was like my number 1. I absolutely loved his music, and I do still love his music. I just didn't listen to him a lot this year, so I'm surprised that he's at number 2. because Drake, I listened to way more Drake than I did Morgan Wallen. But I don't know, it's weird. Chapel Rowan and then SZA. I'm surprised about the SZA though. And I've been listening to, for those of you who do not know who Ethan Regan is, it's Ethan, and then his last name is Regan. He is phenomenal. I don't want to say he's like indie. He's very similar to Noah Kahan, I think. He is amazing. I recently just saw him, and he's smaller right now. He has like 17,000 monthly listeners, I believe, but he is amazing. Please go stream him, go listen to his music. It's seriously amazing. And I have been like playing his album solely for like the past 2 months alone, and I've been listening to him nonstop, so I'm surprised that he's not in this list. And then it just has my like overall chart, so my minutes listened, top songs, top artists, and Spotify is really cool. It's been upping its game a lot this year. It has like this AI playlist, and you can ask that AI on the Spotify to make you a playlist based on blah 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 blah. Like you can insert your own, you can write an entire like you can write a prompt, and it will create a playlist for you based on that, which is so cool. And it's, you can base it off of your own Spotify listen, like what you've listened to, which is so cool. And it has like a bunch of cool things. It has an AI Spotify Wrapped podcast, and it'll basically go through all your statistics and a little bit deeper dive into them. And it's an AI podcast host. It's 2 podcast hosts that are made from AI, and they go through and they talk about your all your statistics and who you're listening to and whatnot, which is so cool. And then they have some other cool things as well. They have a Spotify Wrapped playlist, which is basically like all of your top songs from the year. They put it into one playlist, which is great because you don't have to, I'm not like a playlist maker too much on Spotify, which I should be, but it does that for you automatically, which is nice. You can just press play and it's all your favorite songs from the year, which I really love. Now, moving on to the other things I want to talk about. Let's talk about my business venture thing that I was talking about. So before I started this channel, I tried Etsy out. Not that I was making anything, but being a print-on-demand seller, basically selling t-shirts and sweatshirts, things of that nature that I created designs for. I put on the shirts, and then I post on Etsy, and people can buy them, and it goes through like a production company that makes the shirts and prints and everything, sends it out. And I did that for a while. It just wasn't gaining traction a lot, and it just didn't feel like it was that thing that was going to be my ride or die, how I feel like this is. So I stopped it. I stopped working on it, but it was very, like, I spent as many hours as I spent working on this, I spent on that. I bought courses, I'm part of a Discord chat, I did a lot for it, and I got like 100 sales, I think, but it just wasn't like gaining the momentum, and I just kind of fell off of it. And unfortunately that's what happens with most, like, when people don't gain traction fast, sometimes they give up, and all they have to do is just keep going a little more, and then it'll explode. But I just wasn't vibing with it, I just wasn't like, I knew in my heart, like, this isn't the thing that's going to get me where I want to be, it's something else. And it's funny because one day before I started any of that, I sat down and I thought to myself, like, what do I want to do? And I was like, how can I make an income doing things that I enjoy and what are those things going to be? And on that list, I wrote 2 things. I wrote Etsy and I wrote ASMR on YouTube. And I did the Etsy first, which is funny. And then I didn't, I still enjoy it, but it didn't feel like my thing. This feels like my thing in a way, I guess. So yeah, this was obviously my second option in terms of like sequence, but I definitely more involved with this and more like strict, and I know that this is the thing for me, But anywho, besides that, I keep everything up on the store just because if I get sales, like I don't have to make the product, it just kind of works on its own. So I just keep it up, and I get sales every once in a blue moon, but now that I'm in the holiday season, I got like 4 sales this week, and I haven't touched this since I started this channel, and a little bit before that, like I haven't touched this at all. So it's crazy because I'm like, oh my god, I got 4 sales this week, and it's crazy. I have a lot of shirt designs, well, I wouldn't say a lot of shirt designs that are Peaky Blinders themed, because copyright is a huge thing, and it's something you have to look out for on Etsy. You have to be very careful with what you post because it can get copyright infringement. You gotta look up all the trademarks and whatnot. The one that I was able to do though is In the Bleak Midwinter, and that's like something that I would get tattooed on my body, like based on that show. I love that show, and In the Bleak Midwinter is like a very meaningful part of that show, and it's also just very meaningful in general, and to me it kind of symbolizes what is symbolized in the show. I don't know if I want to get into it. Like in the show, In the Bleak Midwinter was something that the Shelby family used to say in certain times, meaning that, they could have died earlier in life because they were in the war, and they should have died, and any moment after that is a blessing because they, could have, would have, should have died in the war, but they didn't. And like, it's like paying homage to life and death. And in my interpretation of it, when I think about it like thinking about that quote In the Bleak Midwinter, to me is the same thing, but I never served in a war, so not in the same way, but more so just like you can die at any moment, and this is your only life, and it's like it's an amazing life to live and to be grateful for every moment. Like that's kind of what that symbolizes for me. Like death can be at any time, and every moment on this earth and in this waking life is something that I am like don't have words for how astonishing it is. Anyways, so that is my top selling item on the shop, is a sweatshirt, a crew neck sweatshirt that says In the Bleak Midwinter, and it's in that like old English font, so it like goes exactly with the theme, and that's my top seller because there's not anything else on Etsy that says In the Bleak Midwinter. And for Peaky Blinders lovers, they know that that's that's a very important part of the show. So I thought I would just mention my Etsy account, and if you want to check it out, you can feel free. It is Clean Cut Creatives on Etsy. So clean, CLEAN, cut, CUT, creatives, CREATIVES. And I'll leave that in the description box, just in case you want to check it out, because I might as well. Like, I might as well just tell you. I'm not gonna, be going all crazy on here or anything, but I just thought I would mention it. And then lastly, what I want to talk about is an idea I have for the channel that I had last night. I was talking to Harry, my boyfriend, about this, and right now we are currently watching The Office, and I love it. I'm very connected to the characters. We're currently in season 6, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I did a role play, kind of being like a Dunder Mifflin receptionist? Not like, I don't know if I would kind of play Pam or if I would just be a Dunder Mifflin receptionist, you know, because that's like literally acting a role that is already done out there, you know, meaning like I would have to emanate Pam, like and play Pam, or I could just be a Dunder Mifflin receptionist and it be like me, but pretend like I'm in Dunder Mifflin as a receptionist. So I don't know which one that I would rather do. I'll play around with it. But I was like, oh, I can just do like the Office series. And I can do like a bunch of role plays being a receptionist, a salesperson, an accountant, an HR representative, just so I can like hit all the major people. I obviously could never play Michael Scott. I could play Dunder Mifflin regional manager though, but I would not want to disrespect Michael like that, so so I think that would be cool. Or I can also do like, I could be Jan, or like, you know, be some corporate person. I think that'd be so funny. And I know a lot of people love The Office, so I think it has like potential to go viral, or, you know, so I would love to play around with that. If whatever you guys think, I would love if you could let me know, because I am definitely thinking about doing that. I don't know about now or if kind of after the holidays, because there's a lot of holiday themed videos that I want to do now, but after that maybe then I'll like do a series, and that would be so cool. I could probably do receptionist, salesperson, accounting, HR, and corporate, maybe. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I don't know if I could play the individual characters. That would probably kind of be interesting. And possibly regional manager. We'll see. I just don't think I would want to even step in his lane. But yeah, so those are just my ideas. Those are my thoughts. That's my ramble. Sometimes I'm like, there's no way people want to listen to this, because you know, I wouldn't want to sit in front of a screen for now 23 minutes and listen to a random person talking about random things. So I really appreciate anyone who is still here watching this video. Especially because my rambling videos they don't do that bad. Like, they usually always reach 1,000 views, and sometimes more. You know, I'm like, how is this? Like, how are some of the other videos not at 1,000 and my rambling videos are at 1,000? I think that's insane. Very grateful though. I don't want to keep you too much longer, so I just want to say thank you for your support, and I will see you in the next one. And now I have to go deal with this hair because I look like a crazy person. Okay, bye-bye now.